A Conservative government with a whopping great majority of 80, elected on Conservative policies. And yes, I know some of you viewers think I'm being a bit harsh on the government, but when you voted blue, did you really expect it to go green? Because that is what's happened, and in a very big way. A whole series of environmental causes, animal causes, very ambitious targets for reducing CO2. You know, this really is a government committed to cutting CO2 emissions and believing that if it does that, it will stop global warming. And you saw that very much at the G7 at Carbis Bay, how comfortable Boris Johnson was with those other leaders who all think the same thing. But perhaps the most ambitious target is the government has said they will ban the sale of new petrol and diesel cars by 2030. So we're all going to go electric. And there are practical problems with that in terms of just how much electricity can we produce, and our grid system is somewhat ailing. What about the charging points? What about the practicalities? You know, say you've got to go for a long journey across the country. How many times would you need to stop? How long would it take to actually get enough juice back in the car to go again? There are also environmental questions. You know, how are you going to produce that amount of electricity? What are you going to do with those car batteries? Because nobody yet has managed to answer me the question of how you recycle lithium, cobalt style batteries. And then, of course, there's price. But price doesn't seem to matter, because whether it comes to the huge amount we pay on our electricity bills, the new boilers we're expected to put in our home, or the expensive electric cars we're going to be forced to buy, this doesn't bother a government under the influence of the Richmond Greens. Yes, that's right, the people that live in £4 million houses, who are inordinately wealthy, members of the upper middle classes who aren't worried about this. But what about everybody else? Now look, would I like us to go green? Yes, of course I would. Would I like us to be fuelled by renewable energy if it was feasible and without taxpayer subsidy? Yes, of course I would. But I am deeply sceptical that this can happen by 2030. That is my opinion. I'd love to know what you think, and you can do that by getting in touch, gbviews@gbnews.uk.